In this class, we will understand another very important feature of a programming language, which is switch statement. And this switch statement is an alternative for if-else-if statement. First, we will understand why the switch statement is an alternative for if-else-if statement. So there are two reasons why we are going to use the switch statement. The first reason is in the if-else-if statement, for all the options provided, we have to compare, we have to execute the expression for all the options that are provided in the if-else-if statements. And whereas in the switch case, there is no need for us to evaluate the expression for all the cases, for all the multiple options that are provided. And the second option is the way in which the programmer presents the multiple options that are provided for the program is more cleaner in comparison with if-else-if statement. Means in switch statement, a programmer can present all the multiple options in a very cleaner way. So that is these are the two reasons why the creation of the switch statement came into existence. Now what we will do is we will understand the concept of switch statement by using an example, and in comparison with the if-else-if, we will compare the switch statement and understand the concept. So the example that I have taken in this class, the example that I have taken is, here this program is going to take the value, the numerical value of the day, means if the day value is equal to 5, the week of the week name of the week will be displayed by this program. Here let's see the example, see this example and understand this. The value of day is equal to 5. Now the first comparison is the value of day equal to 1? No, the value of day given is 5. 5 is not equal to 1. So we are going to come into the next multiple option. In this case here we are going to compare 5 is equal to 2. Is it equal to 2? So this is what I said. In the if-else-if statement, every time for every option that is provided in the multiple options, we have to do the comparison. We have to evaluate the expression. Try to get this point. The expression value has to be evaluated for every multiple option. Now the second comparison, the second evaluation of the expression is done. Is it equal? No, it is not. Is it equal? No, it is not. For day 5 is equal to 4? No, it is not. 5 is equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it is true. So this is where we are going to stop our expression evaluation and we are going to print Friday. Okay. Now what if none of these matches? We have the default case, right? Else case. So if none of these values are, for example, if the value of day is 8, none of these values are there, so the default value will get printed. As you know, all this we have discussed in our previous classes. So this is how the if-else-if statements will get executed. Now, how the switch cases will do the same job, that we will try to understand. So the same example, but using switch statement. And this is the keyword that is used in the switch statement, and it comes along with these braces, with these parentheses. And within these parentheses, we have to provide the expression to be evaluated or the value of the variable that needs to be compared. To whom it will get compared? Here, the value of day is equal to 5, int day is equal to 5. Now, this day will be compared with the constants of these cases. Switch case. In the case, for every case, we will be provided with these constant expressions. So this is where the labels, the case labels will come into existence. If the value of the case label, the label that is here in this case is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If the value of the day is equal to any of these cases, directly jump there and execute this. So it is way more better in comparison with if-else-if, right? See, once again, if the value of day is equal to any of the label of these cases, only that part of the case will get executed. Okay, and another very important point in the switch statement is the use of break. So how to know the limitations, which statements are to be executed by that particular case is decided by the concept of break statement. What I mean to say is, so for example, if you are having 5 statements in the case 5. So as of now we are having only one statement. Let's assume that we are having 5 statements. How the program knows that where to stop the execution. So that is decided by the break statement. So for all the statements that are executed for that particular case, at the end we have to provide this break statement. So this is one of the common and very frequently done mistake by the beginners. They forgot the use of break statement. Please keep that in mind. In the beginning, whenever we write the switch statements, we forgot that break statement. If you forget that break statement, what happens? If you forget, let's assume that here the day is equal to 2 and we forgot this break statement. So whatever the break that is there in the case 2, let's assume that we forgot break statement in all the cases. Now what happens is, it will continuously execute all the statements in all the cases until it identifies the break statement. So that is very important to keep this point in mind. So always keep in mind that whatever the statements that are there that belong to that particular case, after those statements, we have to provide a break so that the execution of that particular case, after the completion of execution of statements of that particular case, we will come out of this switch statement. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now coming to our example. So here the value of day is equal to 5. Now in the switch we are having the day. If the here, where is the label which is matching the value of 5? The label which is matching the value of 5 is here in the case 5. Now, and after every case we have to give the colon. It is the syntax. Now whatever the statements that are there within this case 5 will get executed. In this example we are having only one statement, which is Friday, printf Friday. The Friday will get printed, and by executing this break statement we are coming out of this if statement. We will come out of this switch statement. Now what about the else case? In the if else if statement we are having the else case that is compensated by the use of default. So it is not mandatory to use the default in every switch case. It is based upon the requirement. We can use it or we may not use it. Now this default states that if the value of day is not equal to any of these labels, labels that are used for this case, so then the default part will get executed. For example, if the value of day is 8, if the value of day is 8, none of the values of the case is having that label 8. So the default will get executed. It is going to print invalid day. Okay. So this is how the switch statement is more comfortable in comparison with the if else if statement, but there is some demerits that exist with the switch statement. Always the expression has to evaluate an integer, and the cases we can use the labels for the cases as integers or characters, because the characters can be comparison with the ASCII codes can be compared with the integers. So that is the reason. That is why if the expression evaluates an floating point value, then that becomes an invalid switch case statements. Okay, so we will understand this concept with the examples whenever we get the examples. So there we are going to understand in detail about the concept of if else if statements in detail, but this is the basic understanding how the switch statement has become an alternative for if else if statement. So hope you got the clarity on this concept. See you in the next class.